Hey guys, so I wanted to do an orientation video for lab, um, and just let y'all know that it is going to be set up very similar to lecture. If you are not already in lecture with me, hello, to watch, and I am going to be running the 1010 lab online for the first 8 weeks, as well as the 1010 lecture for the first 8 weeks too. So I've got my welcome intro to lab. I'll have this video here in place of that other one. We've got our little content browser, it's teeny little bitty thing, and then we've got the calendar over here as far as homepage goes. Weekly announcements will definitely be here. Please set up your notifications for those so you can get the weekly announcements, so you can get, don't forget the such and such is due in 2 days, that kind of stuff. Set up those notifications. You can do it here in settings. Um, and in the notifications for under your profile, yeah, course management, where you can set up notifications for that kind of stuff if you have not already. Please set them up. They're really helpful for you. I really enjoy them as far as time management because I need those notifications set up for myself. I am also an online student. I teach full time. I'm married. I've got 3 kids. And time management is key. So those notifications set up in D2L are really helpful to be able to remind me, oh yeah, you thought you were free, but you're not. You have something due in 2 days. Um, so please set up those notifications. The Pulse app's really helpful to send you those push reminders about that kind of stuff and let you know when the grades are out and all that kind of stuff. So that is the homepage. Let's go through the syllabus really quick. It's set up the same way as the syllabus for lecture. All of my contact information is still the same. Um, so please, ideally, email me at the Highlands. I will check the D2L email too. I check them both. But the Highlands one goes to Outlook and Outlook goes on my phone. So I can get that over the weekends, say, I get that. But if you email me in D2L on like a Thursday night, I'm probably not going to log in on my computer on Friday if I don't have to. So it might be a little longer. And I might not know that you emailed me late Thursday night, until I log in over the weekend. So if you really need me in a hurry, email me is really great, or you can call me. I have 2 phone numbers on here. This is my office phone in Cartersville. So when I'm on the Cartersville campus on Tuesdays and Thursdays for my face-to-face class that I teach there, you can call my office phone there. I also have a Google Voice number that is in my email signature too, under the mobile. So you can call me there, text me on my Google Voice. If you want to set up a meeting, we can absolutely do that. Meetings I have scheduled for online on Mondays and Wednesdays from 11 to 2. If that doesn't work for you, shoot me an email. Let me know. We'll work around it if we have to. If you want to meet in person, we could do that Tuesdays and Thursdays before I go head off to teach my face-to-face class first thing in the morning. We could do that. If you want to set up a meeting, here's how you do it. So you click this link on Book Time with Kim Subach, and that will allow you to book a time slot because I am not sitting on Teams. I am not hanging out with Teams open in the background during office hours. If you don't book that time slot, I don't know that you're there. So please do. You could be hanging out on Teams for a while. Please do book that time slot, and then it will for sure book it in my calendar, and it lets me know that you booked for this time on this day, and I will be there. So that is how to set up some time. And again, if those times don't work for you, let me know. I try to get back to people as soon as possible, as best I can. So usually during the week, Monday through Thursday, it's about 24 hours. Hopefully by the next day, I've got you covered. On the weekend, it could be a little bit longer because I am busy. I am sure you are busy, so it takes a little bit longer to maybe get back to you. Required materials, there's nothing that you need besides a device that can run Labster, because all of our 1010 labs, our 1012 labs, pretty much all of our labs in the biology department are run with Labster as far as online, except for AP1 and AP2. Those are not run off of Labster, but most of the other online labs in biology do use Labster. So it's a really great software. I encourage you this very first week. We have 2 Labster exercises that are due this very first week. So check it out. Do it before Friday because Friday is drop day, right? You used to have, I've been teaching at GHC for 10 years, and in the beginning, you had 2 days to figure out if you like this class or not. And the first day is always syllabus day anyway, so it's really hard to gauge if you like that professor or not, and if you want to stay in that class. But now you have all week. You have Monday through Friday to figure out if you want to add or drop a class. So please do all the things that you need to do. If you don't have Respondus Lockdown Browser and Monitor on your device, download it, get it in there. And then you'll need Labster to be able to run on your device. So hopefully your device will work with Labster. Do all of that before Friday, and at least run the first lab simulation and do that mandatory practice quiz that uses Respondus Lockdown Browser, so you know that your tech is fine, because I cannot really help you if tech issues arise. If for some reason your tech is not great and it doesn't want to cooperate with Labster, which does need a lot of processing speed, you can have the potential to come to the Cartersville Library, and they have loaner laptops, just so you know. So sometimes they have laptops that you can loan out for the entire 8-week semester. And then sometimes they have laptops that are just on loan for like the midterm for 2 days, something like that. But it is a possibility. So I do highly, highly encourage you. Make sure you do all the tech stuff in this first week, Monday through Friday, and make sure that everything works for you. Respondus is working for you, Labster's working for you. So that way you know it's going to be great for the next 8 weeks, or I need to get another device, or I need to drop this class. And if you drop the class before Friday, it's absolutely not a big deal, and you can get out before Friday, and it doesn't even show up on your transcripts. So you don't have to pay anything, it's fine. So I want everyone to make sure that your tech is up to date for the class. This class is going to count for the T and the impacts. Please do log in every week for sure. Get your stuff done. Again, time management's important. I want y'all to know what you have to do, when it's due, up front, so you can plan out the entire rest of the semester accordingly. Um, yeah, if you miss a whole week of class in an 8-week class, it is missing 2 weeks of class in a full-time 16-week semester class. So it's important that you are logging in and getting your work done, because the 8-week classes move quick. It is a full 16-week semester, the same amount of time and contact hours boiled into an 8-week semester. So it's usually a lot of material, especially in lecture, really quickly. We have a 10-point grading scale here at GHC. For my students, if you are within 1 point of the next grade level, I will round you, but it has to be 1 point, not two, not 2.5, 1 point. And I will round you to the next one. But if you're sitting on an 88, you are staying at a B. If you have a 77.5, you are still at a C. But if you have an 89, I'm going to round you to the next one up. So that's my line in the sand. If you are within 1 point of the next grade level, I will round you up. The assessments. We are heavy. 60% of the course is your lab exercises. Are you logging into Labster and doing them on time? Doing them on time is key, because I'm not going to accept late work here in this lab. I have a little bit of wiggle room because I know things happen in an online class, but if you miss your lab, it's going to count as a zero. It's going to count as a zero. Um, in order to soften the blow of a possible missed lab, I drop your two lowest lab exercise grades. I'm going to drop the two of them. There are 13 total, and I'm going to drop the two lowest ones. That should be 1100 there. Um, but I'm going to drop the two lowest ones. So say that you totally spaced and you forgot that there were 3 exercises this week instead of just one, and you got the first one done, but you totally spaced on the last two. Those two would be your dropped ones. Or maybe you don't have any zeros, but you have like one that you didn't do so well, and it's still going to be your dropped one. So I'm going to take your best 11 of the 13, and count them towards the class. Then we have 2 exams. The lab midterm is going to cover, I think, 7 exercises is the lab midterm, and then the lab final covers the last 6 exercises. Each exam is worth 20% of your course grade. Um, yes. Late work, again, if you miss the deadline for when that lab exercise is due, I'm going to put it in a zero. It's going to be in a zero in my grade book. Do I shut the labs off at the cutoff time when they're due? No, I keep them open. So you can go back in there and study for your lab midterm and your lab final. Your lab midterm or your lab final are based on questions pulled directly from Labster. So I want you to go back in there. If it's been, a month since you did lab safety and you don't remember any of that stuff, go back in and do lab safety again and look at those questions again. That way you can score your best on that midterm. So I don't close them out, but if you don't get it done on time, it's a zero in my grade book. It will repopulate and be like, hey, you went back and did this 5 times and now you have 100. That doesn't count unless you got that 100 before the due date. Just setting expectations. So please get them done on time. Please get them done on time. If you forget and you get a zero, I drop two of them. I drop two of them. But please, I do want everyone to be able to do their stuff on time. So I want to tell you everything up front. Here they are. So the first week is lab safety and experimental design, and it's going to be due on Sunday. The rest of the entire class, I have things due on Monday. Monday would be the day. But Monday, this coming Monday, is Martin Luther King Day. And I want y'all to be celebrating Martin Luther King Day and not worried about school. So I bumped it back to Sunday the 19th to get our first week stuff done. So we got lab safety, experimental design, and that practice quiz that needs Respondus Lockdown Browser Monitor. Um, so you can get all that stuff done before Sunday the 19th. And then the next week, we have 3 labs to cover. We got the food macromolecules, the intro lab, and microscopy to cover. All of these lab exercises align pretty closely to the content that we are covering in lecture. And then we've got the lab midterm. It's going to go live probably on the 4th, and then it will close on the 10th at midnight. On the lab midterm, it's just going to be like the practice quiz. It's going to use Respondus Lockdown Browser Monitor for the lab midterm and the lab final and the practice quiz. When you are taking your tests, whether it is lecture, whether it is lab, no matter what, in any of my classes, that all of them I teach, I don't allow extra notes. There are no notes, there are no cheat sheets, there's no open book. I don't do that. So I'm just letting you know up front. There should be no anything next to you, no devices, no cell phones, no anything else next to you. The only thing I do allow, I allow it in my face-to-face, and so I'll allow it for y'all too, is a blank white sheet of paper that you will hold up during your environmental scan, because your environmental scan is going to ask you, pick this up and turn it around and show me up, down, all around your workspace. Do that, and then set it down, and show me your blank piece of paper. If you feel like you need a piece of paper, you might not. But if you want one, you can have one, a blank piece of paper. Show it to me then on the environmental scan when you are doing that portion of the text. And then it will ask you, show me your ID so I can validate that, that driver's license or student ID is you, that it's you taking the test. And then it will be like, proceed to test. Please do all of those steps. They are important. They do count. And I do watch the videos. I know that you may think it is an online class and nobody cares. Nobody's what I watch them, and I have seen some things, and I don't want to see those things. So please dress appropriately. Please dress like you would for class, for a regular class. Dress appropriately. And again, no phones, no notes, none of that, because um, here are again the exam policies for them. If you violate academic honesty, I am going to give you a 0 for that exam, but I'm also going to run you up through Judiciary Committee and go for a possible F in the class. And nobody wants an F in their course. So it is way easier to just study properly than it is to cheat. Don't cheat. Please don't. Please don't. I don't like doing judiciary hearings, but I will do them, and I just had one last semester, so please don't do them. Please don't. Please just study. You can do this. Everyone can do this. I know you can. So, if something happened and you missed the test, please let me know as soon as possible. Please let me know what is going on within 24 hours. And hopefully we can figure it out and get it back online for you so you can still stay on track for class, especially in an 8-week class, because things move really fast. I do only allow one makeup if that happens. Then we got all the important dates down here, and then the resources. I always like to tell my students about the resources. Your tuition dollars are paying for these resources. You are paying for career services, which is really great, and also has like a career closet where you can, borrow a suit if you don't have one of those things for an interview. We have career services. We have student support services. We have a food pantry on the Cartersville and the Floyd campus. I don't know about the Marietta campus, but we have a food pantry set up with canned foods, feminine hygiene products, fresh veggies, like we have some stuff there. If you need counseling, we absolutely have counselors that are here for you. We have a writing center where you can come I know I don't require paper in this lab class, but if you're doing English comp, come get some help. It's free. The testing center, the tutorial center, I myself lived at the tutorial center because I struggled in undergrad with it was organic chemistry 2, and calculus 3 were really hard for me. It was one of those big classes with like 300 students, and I really couldn't hear what the professor was saying, and it was hard. It was a struggle. So I lived in the tutorial center. Me and that grad student, we were besties. So please don't be afraid to reach out to the tutorial center. There is 24/7 tutoring at tutoring.com for us that links from this class. So please check it out. I am not available at 2 a.m. I will be sleeping, but tutor.com is supposed to be available 24/7. So please check them out. If the concept isn't sinking in, use it. It's free. You are paying for it already. So I just want y'all to know that there are resources there for you. And if you don't know and you know of a classmate that needs some resources, share it with them. Please, please share it with your classmates. So again, that was the homepage. We just went over the syllabus. Let's show how the content works. In here, we've got the welcome get started with all my tips and tricks on this page. Because again, what works for you may not work for your friend, and maybe what worked in the last class last semester doesn't work for this semester. So I try and show you all of the different ways that you could tackle something. Sometimes things are overwhelming and you need something to break it down into navigable chunks. If you need something to chunk it for you, Goblin Tools is a great AI to chunk stuff. Um, Quizlets are great. They are great for vocabulary terms. So I've got all sorts of fine breaks. Definitely get up, walk around, exercise for 5 minutes, go walk to the mailbox and back. Whatever you need to do, come back and start studying again. But I've got all sorts of tips in here for y'all, and I hope you use them. And I also have a link to the LIP guide for biology, my contact email again, and booking time for me. So that's all here on the welcome page. The syllabus link, again, please download your syllabi. You don't think you need them now, but later they will be important because maybe you transfer to another institution and that institution tries to push back and say that your class isn't good enough for their class and you're going to have to pay for their class instead. Keep your syllabi because sometimes that's the only thing that's keeping you from them forcing you into a different class. If you're staying within USG, just a little advising tip, if you stay within the University System of Georgia, if you go to KSU, Georgia State Tech, they should take all of our classes because Georgia Highlands is a part of USG. But if you move outside of the USG boundary and you go to like Reinhardt is right next door to my house, if you went there, that's not part of the USG, and so they may push back. And if you have your syllabus to be like, this is exactly what we covered in this class, then hopefully that will save you time and money and not have to take a class again someplace else. So I recommend all your syllabi, download them, save them for later. So just go there, and I think with ours, you go and you hit like print. I don't want to edit it. Oh, yeah, print. So if you hit print and then you just save PDF, that's a way to save all of those. And then I've got the schedule in here again, because again, time management, time management, time management. So here's the schedule. Lab safety is coming up. Experimental design is coming up. Please download Respondus Lockdown Browser Monitor if you don't have it already and take the practice quiz. There are several attempts on the practice quiz. So if for some reason you don't get 5 out of 5, try it again. Keep going so you can get those 5 bonus points that I will put towards your exercise grade. Yeah, that's how that works. And then underneath the get started, we have the lab content with the different exercises on here. So we got the 13 different exercises. The first one is lab safety. Just click here. Don't try and Google Labster and find it. Don't do that. Just click right here. Once you click it, it's going to pop up with this page and you'll see it like downloading and progressing through, and then finally it'll be like 100% and you can click play. It does tell you how long it's going to be, what languages, all that good stuff. The theory is over here too. But you can hit play and just dive on in. Oh, there it goes. It's going to download it again for me. Um, and you'll dive on in, and it's very, virtual lab, just like you're in a VR headset kind of stuff. And the first one is lab safety. You will see your locker. You will need to put on gloves and do all of that you would do like if you were in a real face-to-face environment.
Welcome
So
to the lab
we
safety
are
simulation.
here in
I
the
am Dr.
simulation.
Blunt, your
I
AI
always like
lab
to show
assistant.
y'all in the
Today,
lab class,
you will learn
check out the
everything you need
tablet.
to know to
This little
survive your
lab
first
pad,
day
the
in the lab.
tablet,
Are you ready for the challenge?
it has all the good stuff. We've got the homepage, it has the theory, because sometimes you're getting stuck. Like sometimes you'll go through it and then it'll ask you a question and they're usually they're almost always multiple choice questions, but like I don't know where they got the information from that. Come back to the lab pad. It's got the theory that'll tell you all the information to help you get through those questions and move on. We got theory, it's got the pictures of the media, which I haven't progressed in this exercise, so they're all still locked out. But check out the lab pad. That's going to have all the good stuff.
This
And then you
simulation
can,
using the lab pad is an
okay, I
important
get
way to
it.
get the most out of the simulation.
So then you will, go into the lab and do all the things for lab safety. So I always like to show y'all how that works. And then that's it for content. I do a little bonus point assignment at the end of the semester if you want to do the course evaluation survey that comes from Amanda West. You can fill out that survey, and at the end of that anonymous survey, it'll say completed. Screenshot the completed and upload that completed one. So, if you want to, it's totally optional. You do not have to do this. This is optional. But if you want 2 bonus points, those 2 bonus points go towards your final exam. So we got the midterm exam and we got the final exam. So you could do 2 bonus points towards your final exam if you wanted to do that. That's the only bonus points I ever do. Um, and then I think the last thing I wanted to go over with y'all is grades. Grades are right here. And come on, we're gonna have them broken down just like you saw in the syllabus. We have the lab exercises, and those are going to be 60% of your grade. And you can see all 13 of them here. And then we have the lab midterm. That's going to be based on exercises 1 through 7. And then the lab final is going to be exercises 8 through 13 for that one. And then your final letter grade, I always like to put the final letter grade in here so you're not waiting around on score to tell you what it is. You'll know as soon as I can put it in for y'all. Y'all know days ahead of time. So I think that's all I wanted to cover on here. So if you have any questions, please reach out. Again, it's caseywatch@highlands.edu. Email me, you could call me, you could text me on my Google Voice. But it's going to be a good semester. Labster's a lot of fun. If you ever run into any trouble with Labster, you can text me, you can call me, but I would highly suggest you get in touch with Labster. They're really good at customer service and they usually are able to resolve the situation within 24 hours. So it's going to be a good semester. Bye, guys.